Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Treasure Planet. And this movie came out in 2002, and it's a Disney movie that's directed by John Musker and Ron Clements, the same directors who brought us The Little Mermaid and also Aladdin, two movies that I really enjoyed. And this one I also liked, and unlike those two movies, I did have a bit of nostalgia for this movie in particular. I remember seeing it a few times when I was young, and I still do like this movie. I think it's pretty good. It was thoroughly enjoyable for me. I do think I like The Little Mermaid and Aladdin more than this movie, but still, I like this one quite a bit. And this movie is also kind of infamous for bombing at the box office and being like one of the biggest bombs of all time. With this movie having such a huge budget, and one comparison you can make it in terms of budgets, just like 8 years before this movie, was The Lion King in 1994. And I believe that movie's budget was like 40 to 45 million. I could be wrong. Whereas Treasure Planet, this movie, its budget is $140 million. And does it really show in this movie? Not really. Not 140 million good. Like, I do think the 2D animation in this movie looks good, and some 3D animation wasn't entirely distracting, although it didn't really age all that well in comparison to the 2D animation. And I feel as though if this movie had just stuck with 2D animation and it didn't use 3D animation as much as it did, I think this movie would have been a lot better in terms of how well it would age, because some stuff in this movie just doesn't look all that great. The 3D animation just doesn't feel like it's a part of the environment. And I know that's kind of a weird thing to say for an animated movie, but it's true. Sometimes it just doesn't feel correct. Like, these are two separate entities. I just wish the movie balanced them a bit better and they blended more with the environment. But to go back to positives, because I did like this movie a lot, and one of my positives for this is that the characters are very well set up, and I actually cared about the characters in this movie, and I liked the dynamic between our main character and the villain. Like, that was a fun dynamic and kind of interesting and a bit different, or at the very least, kind of a break from what we normally get in any other Disney movie or animated movie, really. And I did like the designs of everything. Everything looked kind of cool. I liked what this movie was going for in terms of its visual presentation, and how the characters and the models and like all these ships and all these different things, they all looked cool to me. I thought the acting in this movie was really good. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I thought he did a pretty good job as Jim. I was always with that character, and there are plenty of parts of this movie that genuinely hit for me, and I honestly can say that I really cared about the characters in plenty of parts of the movie. And one thing that was kind of weak for me was the comedy. I didn't really find it to be all that funny, especially with the character Ben, voiced by Martin Short. He was kind of annoying, and he was the only part of the movie that kind of dragged the movie down. And just about every line that he said, he basically screams, and it's kind of annoying and just didn't need to be there for the most part. The only reason he's in the movie is because he serves a one tiny plot beat towards the end of the movie, and that's it. And luckily, he doesn't show up until like 2/3 into the movie, but when he does show up, he's kind of irritating. But some other positives that I did have, there were some interesting shots in this movie that looked pretty cool, and the movie stayed consistently entertaining for me. I never once felt as though it was overstaying its welcome or testing my patience or anything like that. I was with the movie, and I liked what it was showing me and giving me. And also the action scenes were pretty fun and exciting at points. Like, the black hole scene, I think that's my favorite action scene in the entire movie, and honestly, it's really cool, and what they explore and what happens in that scene is pretty fun to watch. But again, to my criticisms with the movie, because I do have some still, even though I did mention a couple already, aside from the 3D animation not aging too well and the comedy being something that didn't work for me. There was one joke that I thought was pretty funny, and I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want to spoil anything because it's the best joke in the entire movie. But anyways, one thing that kind of dragged this movie down was the music. I just didn't feel as though it added much to the experience at all. I liked I'm Still Here by the Goo Goo Dolls. I liked that song and how it was used in the movie. And I think they played the entire song in that scene. But I didn't find it distracting at all. And without spoiling anything, I thought the final shot in the movie was cheesy and kind of stupid. But that's really all my criticisms with this movie. It was fun, it was exciting at points, it was nostalgic for me, and I really enjoyed revisiting it, and there's plenty about it that worked. There are definitely some great and memorable scenes in it. It doesn't always fall into really dumb, annoying tropes that you would expect. That's something that props it up from just being a bland and forgettable movie for me. And and overall, I would say I'm on the positive side of this movie. And from what I know, this movie is kind of somewhat divisive. Some people really like this movie, some people really don't. But I'm on the side that enjoyed this movie. So I would recommend that you check it out at the very least. I think it's good. And it just delivers on what you would want at the very least. So with all that being said, I'm going to give Treasure Planet a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of Treasure Planet, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for You Hurt My Feelings. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.